Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults,
and beer.
And porn stars. Because that's what we're talking
That's
about.
what this one's about.
Yeah. It's just two crazy Florida men drinking beer, talking about true crime. And I'm Bill.
And I'm Paul.
And thank God that cop got out from behind me.
One's still following me.
Oh, man, you better shake him.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, it's been a couple of interesting episodes for sure. You know, the Sean Gillis with Jodie Poche. Then last week's episode with the Attack of the Dead Men with Kevin from Dark Windows podcast. Now we're covering a porn star and a moider.
I'm Moida.
Moida. But I don't know. I couldn't find any other podcasts on this particular porn actress. There was one when a podcast that she was on. It was by two porn producers, and it was like right after she came, into the scene.
Yeah,
and it was just creepy. The way they were talking to her, it was just creepy. So I didn't last very long in that one. But anyway, you watch porn?
Who has?
I didn't ask you if you have. I asked you if you do.
No comment. I would just say that was my comment.
I don't know.
A lot, that's one of those questions when somebody asks you, it's like you're afraid to answer and honest, but you'd be like, yeah, who hasn't? But nobody wants to admit to it, yet everybody probably has. Most people probably have at least seen something.
Yeah. I'll be honest, it doesn't really do much for me. I mean,
Me neither.
It's like I'd rather just be doing it myself rather than watching somebody else do it.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
It's a business, though. I've known people who are in the business.
Yeah,
Directors, producers, actresses, photographers, camera people, all kinds of stuff. So
I've known a couple as well. There was this one guy this years ago. He and his wife. I mean, his wife was gorgeous, and way out of his league. But all of a sudden, she started decided that she was going to start doing porn, and she did. And I'm like, dude, how can you be okay with that? He's like, well, she's coming home to me. I'm like, yeah. She's going to be. Do you think she's going to want to have anything to do with you after being plowed all day long?
right.
Like, does a chef want to cook when he gets home from work?
That takes a special kind of guy.
Yeah. An asexual one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sorry, I would not be okay with that.
Either that or they were swingers. I don't know. That don't make sense.
Oh, they weren't. But when he explained it to me, he was like, "Well, she's coming home to me." It sounded to me like he was trying to convince himself.
Oh yeah, he's lying to himself.
Yeah, it's like, and I kind of lost touch with him after that, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. I'm guessing their marriage probably didn't last longer than 6 months after that.
Yeah,
that's just what I'm guessing.
Yeah, because all the people that she meets in the business and stuff like that, there's people that are throwing money at her, throwing all kind of gifts at her, stuff like that, and she's tempted.
Yeah, and no, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being with somebody that was in the industry, past tense.
Yeah,
as long as they're not doing it when you're with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, because like I said, once she gets home from work, she's not going to want anything to do with you.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So So see, I'm not being judgmental or anything like that. I'm just saying, I'm just stating the truth. Would I date an ex porn star? Yeah, I would. As long as she wasn't into drugs or anything like that. Yeah, I would.
Yeah. Out of business, and you're like, all right, I retired.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got a past,
Oh yeah, there's skeletons in just about everybody's closet.
Yep. So, anyway, without further ado, even though that was on topic ado, let's get into it.
Get it.
Aubrey Gold was born Lauren K. Wombles on March 12, 1997 in Dothan, Alabama. When she was 18, like on the day that she turned 18, she moved to Las Vegas with the hopes of becoming a star. And she did. A porn star. And she was semi-successful. Not, she didn't reach superstardom. She was no Jenna Jameson or anything like that. She was only in it for about 4 years total.
That wasn't long at all.
But actually, no, not even 4 years. 2 years.
Oh wow.
2 years. Oof. Oh wait. I don't know. We'll get to it. I wrote these notes like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to. I don't remember exactly how I had them set up. So, but in 2020, she was involved in a murder case. On August 25th, the body of Raul Ambrose Gillen was found near the Florida-Alabama state line. He had been shot to death and she was charged with being a principal to first-degree murder, meaning she wasn't charged with murder, but she was involved. She took a plea deal and agreed to testify against her boyfriend, William Shane Parker. And she pleaded no contest to being an accessory after the fact to second-degree murder in October of 2021 and got 10 years in prison with 5 years on probation after release. Primary source of the book is If Looks Could Kill, the Aubrey Gold Story by Kelly Roberts. I also used Investigation Discovery on Instagram, just a little bit of that because it had interviews with people who knew her before she left home. Now, the author, Roberts, has worked in the adult film industry since 1996 as a producer and a webmaster. She also became a consultant in adult entertainment. She's become an advocate for performers' rights, and she's led the charge to give people an understanding on what actually goes on in the adult entertainment industry. She also finds it extremely important to tell the behind-the-scenes stories and the human stories behind the performers in the industry. So basically, like behind the sticky bed.
Yeah, behind that dripping curtain.
Yeah, kind of like behind the music. I would watch that. I would. Yeah, because those people, they definitely got stories to tell.
All of Hollywood does too, and it's the business.
It's the biz. But I mean, they. Just the stories that they can tell because I'll say right now this particular case has less to do with Aubrey Gold's murder. The murder case that she was convicted in has less to do with that and more to do with her experience in the porn industry. And this is more a look at the porn industry itself than it is a one-off murder case.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that right off the bat. Different kind of episode than we've ever done, ever. But it is a really interesting story, and I found it the same way I found that book about the Canadian cult. I was just looking for something. I said, "Oh, what's this?" Buy now.
Yep.
So, Dothan, Alabama is a small town. Not very many opportunities. And it's the type of town that most people raised there and most of the people who are raised there have the goal of getting the hell out. And spoiler alert, Lauren Wombles did just that.
Yeah. Good for her.
Well, put a knife in that.
Somewhat. Yeah. Either one or the other.
Yeah.
Left or right. Up or down.
Aubrey's parents were very young when she was born, and their relationship was shaky at best. And her mother had been a stripper, which of course had a stigma attached to it due to being in such a small, ultra-conservative Alabama town. And her father was absent a lot of the time. She wound up being sent to her grandparents' house, and she got really close with her aunt, who was only 11 years older than hers. And so that was more like a sibling relationship that formed between the two of them. She had problems in school. She clashed with the ultra-conservative mindset of the town. She wanted out, and the people of Dothan, without realizing it, were really pushing her toward the wildlife. Getting out of Dothan was her ultimate goal. Everything that she was interested in, the townspeople were against.
Yeah. Jeez.
I mean,
he was a black sheep.
Yeah, definitely. But have you ever been to towns like that?
Yeah. I've kind of lived in a town like that growing up.
Yeah.
Probably a town smaller than that.
Wow.
But I was so young, just up in the Poconos.
Didn't really know what was going on.
Yeah, I didn't really know what was going on. But and I've been through some towns like that too. I mean, there's some towns like that here in the Lake County area of Florida and stuff like that are quite small.
Oh yeah, you drive up and down 27 or 17 or 301, you're going to go through quite a few of them.
Yep.
But especially that one up there north of Stark.
Oh yeah.
You're on 301 where the speed limit drops from 65 to 45.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you've got
I can't remember the name of it.
You got Hawthorne and you've got Waldo. Waldo is really small.
Yeah, but this place that I'm talking about is beyond all that. It's north of Stark. It's closer to I-10. It's probably about maybe 15 miles from I-10. But
I probably passed there when we were taking the airport drive after.
But the speed limit will drop from from 65 to 55 to 45 in a quarter mile, and police will sit there and wait. Because if you're in the 55 mile part, and you don't get down to 45 before you hit that sign, they will nail you, even if you're doing like 3 miles over the speed limit.
It's like that on 301 going up to Stark.
Yeah, that
from 95, 75, 95. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. 301.
Yeah. But the whole way, it's like 75, 60, 45, 65, 45, 70, 45. It's like, what?
Well, you're going through a bunch of different counties. They all got to get their money.
Yep. Speed traps.
Because Lord knows that that Dollar General is not going to provide income for everybody that lives there.
No.
But yeah, that's the type of town that we're talking about.
Very small.
But Aubrey began watching porn at 12 years old, and she thought that the industry could not only be her ticket out of Dothan, but into stardom as well. And it was literally Dothan that steered her into the life of a porn star.
That was really young.
Yeah, and we'll get more on that later on. Yes, I got questions, and we'll get to those later. Toward the end of the episode. When she was 16, a man approached her saying that he wanted to take pictures of her. But when he realized that she was underage, he gave her his card and told her to call him when she was 18. She told her aunt about this, and her aunt said that it seemed like this guy was talking about more than just modeling because of the fact that he told her to contact him when she turned 18. If it was just modeling, she could have done that with parental permission as long as it was just teenage modeling and nothing more.
Yeah.
Aubrey said that she didn't care and she was going to get out of there and do whatever she wanted when she turned 18. So I'm sure that she put that business card in a safe for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
When she turned 18, she packed all of her bags and took off to Vegas to become a porn star. They were having her birthday party, her 18th birthday party in Applebee's, and she left after, they're singing karaoke and stuff, and she left like that night after her birthday party.
Wow. She's got it all figured out.
Yeah. She didn't tell anybody she was leaving, but she texted once she got to Vegas telling everybody that she was going to be in the porn industry. Her family quickly cut ties with her, and her departure shocked them, even though she had been talking about doing just that for a couple of years. She chose the name Aubrey Gold because Aubrey was her mother's stage name as a stripper, and Gold because, well, that's what her goal was. She wanted to be gold. But she quickly realized that wasn't going to be that easy. And the harsh reality set in, and she wound up not knowing who was genuine and who wasn't. And she was in over her head. It was basically do or die, but in her mind, she really couldn't go back to Dothan because, she's a pariah at that point in that town. Everybody knew that, this local girl went up to Vegas to do porn. Everybody knew. But as she found success, her old life faded away, and going through this story made me think of the Poison song "Fallen Angel."
Yeah,
it's a very underrated Poison song too, but one of their better songs, I think. Aubrey had fans all around the world, and before too long, she knew what worked for her, leading to conflicts with her management. But the fast-paced nature of the business was catching up to her. And she, of course, ran into people who wanted to exploit her.
Probably more who wanted to exploit her than the ones who weren't.
Yeah. And it's every rising star's challenge to be able to recognize the predators.
Yeah.
One thing about porn, a young baby face is a hot commodity. And it seemed like she was getting booked with legitimate companies, but looks can be deceiving. Porn had more aspiring actresses than they had roles. And lots of young women see porn as their quick passage to stardom, and OnlyFans was still a couple years away. But now with OnlyFans, women are able to control everything that they do. But it wasn't like that until very recently, because OnlyFans is still pretty new.
Yeah.
This is where we get into a breakdown of porn contracts, and I promise you, this is not boring.
Yeah.
Most of the time, when you're talking about contracts, it's boring. Like this time of year during football season, I hate reading news because all it is will Tua Tagovailoa get that $50 million a year paycheck? I don't give a shit. I don't care how. I don't care if you pay him $1 billion a year. Do I need to know about it as a fan? No, I don't.
Nope.
Just all it does is piss me off. It's like, I don't care how much these athletes make. I mean, if somebody comes, I was raised in the mindset as it's none of your damn business how much I make.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember being at a job one time where I had just started. It was a restaurant. This was years and years and years ago. But I got hired, and I started talking to one of the people that had been there for a minute, and I just out of the blue, just in line of conversation, the guy asked me how much I was making. And I told him, and I was making several dollars more an hour than he was. Well, he of course then goes and bitches to the manager, and the manager calls me in and reams my ass out for telling him. I'm like, I wasn't bragging to him. He asked me, and I didn't even think about it, and I just told him. I didn't realize he was using me to try and get a raise for himself. But yeah.
Providing he deserved a raise. I mean, did you have more
Well,
seniority?
well, yeah, he had been at that restaurant for about like a year, but he was also like 18, 19 years old. And at the time I was like 21 or 22 with a couple, with several more years experience than he had. So of course they're going to pay me more than some kid who just started out of high school.
Yeah.
Anyway, hashtag, but I digress. But it was kind of on topic. Because I don't care how much football players or athletes make. I don't care how much movie stars make. I don't care. But anyway, lots of companies would put their actresses in large houses, charge them rent that came out of their pay. It was around $35 a day, whether they worked that day or not. $35 a day. That's cheap for a hotel, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
But it's $35 a day, whether they worked that day or not. Not to mention, in addition to all of their regular bills in everyday life, she also had to get health tested every 2 weeks at $155 a pop.
Oh.
So $310 a month just for that test out of her pocket, plus over $200 a week in rent. Yeah, so some women would dance in clubs, to get more income. But other women would find themselves with lower tier companies with people pretending to be legitimate producers who had ulterior motives.
And horny dirtbags who just want to bang a bunch of hot chicks.
Yeah. Pretty much. Legitimate production is used for commercial distribution, while these scumbags were shooting for, quote, private collections. These were fronts for escort services or worse. But these private collections ultimately wound up for sale online and appeared legitimate, and the only people who knew that they weren't legitimate were the legitimate companies. Are you following what I said?
Yeah.
And also, when you say legitimate company, you got to kind of say that with an asterisk next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the entire industry from the bottom up is at least a little bit shady.
Yeah.
Until OnlyFans, anyway.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into that. But lots of Aubrey's work ended up on these sites where the actresses would be offered a flat rate for pay, and after that they wouldn't receive any portion of the money that the videos made. Aubrey's career was only 2 years, and she performed in 74 scenes for legitimate companies and around 50 for the shady one. And the shady ones were the ones that she shot first, mostly. And in those 2 years, she only made around $50,000 total, living in Las Vegas.
That is way below minimum wage.
Yeah, it is. Even then, I mean, this wasn't that long ago.
25K a year. That's freaking bullshit.
Somebody working 30 hours a week at McDonald's as a fry cook makes more than that.
Exactly. Yeah, especially now, $15-20 an hour.
Well, I'm talking before when they were making like $8 an hour or whatever.
This was when? This is what,
2017.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking at a post here that she had posted in 2016, and it's like, what? So yeah, it's not that long ago.
No, what are you looking at?
It's Google. It's on Google. It was a Google search. I just put in her name, Google search, and it's a picture that was screen captured of her on, what is that? I don't even know what it's from. Scene 1, Episode 4, The Fall of Aubrey Gold.
Yeah, I should have watched that too. Oh well, it probably has the same information. Actually, this book probably has more information than that doc did.
Yeah. This is literally, May 20th, 2016 was when she posted it. Oh, it's only got 449 likes. That's not right.
26. She posted it.
Yeah.
The fall of Aubrey Gold was
yeah.
Something don't add it.
Yeah, it's from her account, unless it's Aubrey Gold _XX. I think it's an Instagram account or something. Yeah.
I must have my years off because I was thinking she entered the business in 17. Okay, she entered the business in 2015. Hold on, 97 to 2007. That's 10 years. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2014, she would have been 18. So yeah, around 2015. Okay, but now that makes sense. Okay, so 2016. I was for some reason I had her entering the business in 2018 in my head, even though I probably already said what year it was. No, I didn't. I didn't say that. Okay, now we have clarification. But sadly, this is the norm. Porn stars that explode into superstardom with really long careers are very rare, and Aubrey was basically living paycheck to paycheck, if you want to call it that. If you want to call it living.
Yeah.
Aubrey's first Aubrey's first actual agent was Riley Reynolds, who owned Hussey Models, which was an unlicensed agency in Florida. And if you've seen the documentary Hot Girls Wanted on Netflix, you know exactly who this scumbag is. I watched that documentary. It's been on Netflix for probably 10 years.
Really?
Maybe not quite that long, but it's been there. It's been there for a long time.
Huh.
Running an unlicensed agency is illegal. It's a third-degree felony, in fact, and he was never charged, but he was definitely doing it, and he exploited many young women. He had a rap sheet in Hillsborough County, which is where Tampa is. Burglary, grand theft, among others, but when that documentary was filmed, he was in Miami. He only wanted young women and referred to them as teeny boppers. He ran a pipeline of young women who he would work to death for several months and then spit them out. And his favorite quote was what?
Every day, another girl turns 18.
Yeah. Classy guy, huh?
Yeah, that's a lot of class for you. Scumbag.
Yeah. One girl, and this is just one of many, says that she was enticed with a Craigslist ad offering a free flight to Miami, and once she got there, her ID was taken, and by the time that it was over, she actually owed Riley money, and she was stuck in Miami, and she had to go to the authorities for help getting back home, and she backed out of it because she didn't want to do porn, which was never discussed until she actually got there to the house in Miami.
Wow. Huh. They need to unionize.
One of Aubrey's first bookings was with a guy who was beaten, or he was notorious for being extreme. One woman was beaten, and a photo shows her face like badly bruised with a broken lip and an eye swollen shut. This was posted on Twitter by a female porn star, and this scumbag actually replied saying, "What?
The industry actually hires me for all their abuse sites and pays me to beat bitches like you. They don't care to listen to you."
Yeah. I'm not going to mention the guy's name. I'm not, or this actress that posted the picture. We're going to get to that why, but this guy has an OnlyFans page now, where he's not under any restrictions and he can literally do whatever he wants, and not that he was really under any restrictions previously, but now he's behind closed doors with himself, by himself, and a woman who may or may not know what she's walking into. So I'm not gonna mention this guy's name. But now this female porn star, she's no angel either. She was charged on multiple counts of lewd and lascivious battery on a child and other charges with 12, 13, and 14-year-old girls. She had gotten them drunk, drugged, and had sex with them, and she went on Twitter saying that she hoped her charges wouldn't interfere with her dream of being a porn star. And there's also video evidence of these acts. It was filmed by cell phone, so it wasn't just her; it was somebody else. Other people were involved as well.
Yeah. Jeez.
But she, at the time, was one of Riley Reynolds' girls, and although Aubrey was never involved with underage people. She didn't stay with Reynolds for very long, but it got worse for her from there. Next, Aubrey was with an outfit called VIP Connect, another non-licensed production company, this one in California. It was run by a woman named Shy Love, who had a fake license from Nevada. And these naive young women believed that it was legit because it looked legit. Scumbag. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this episode could wind up, ruffling some people's feathers and whatnot. But like I said, I'm not naming names other than, Reynolds and Shy Love.
Yeah.
And also the people involved with the one-off murder. But
yeah.
But I'm saying now, even though there'll be another episode released before this one is, if we have a video that's going to stir up enough trouble, it's that interview that I did a couple weeks ago, which is being at the time we're recording this, it's it's only been out for a couple days, but I haven't looked at Apple yet because it takes like a week to generate the numbers from Apple, but it's doing about average on Spotify, but on YouTube, people are gobbling that shit up. So. Aubrey wanted to get out of her contract with them, but they weren't getting her work, and she wasn't able to get many producers to work with her because she was she wasn't able to get many producers to work with her because she was a less than legitimate agent who had a lot of clients but didn't back it up. But Shy Love wanted $2,500 as a buyout fee from Aubrey when she wanted out, which later grew to $5,000.
Oh, Aubrey probably hadn't even made that much from what it sounds like.
Exactly. I mean, she wasn't getting booked. She flat out didn't have the money. And all she did for Aubrey was mention her on her social media websites and with a few mentions on social media. It's you're under contract, and I'll just it's like one of these freaking influencers. They go, hey, if you give me $10,000 worth of amenities at your 5-star hotel and restaurant, I'll give you a shout out on my Instagram page.
Yeah,
it'll be really good exposure for you. That's what this sounds like, but with porn. Yeah. But Aubrey had signed a 4-year contract with Shy.
I'm sure that wasn't her real name.
Of course it wasn't. But unfortunately, Aubrey had signed a legal contract. But I don't know if it could be, if it's made by a unlicensed company, is it really a legal contract?
No.
I don't think so either. I think that she could have fought that. And I think she could have, at any of the actresses, not just Aubrey, but any of the actresses in that situation could have fought that and taken that bitch down.
I know, because if the company wouldn't be able to sue anybody over it, because if they were to even think about taking it to court, the judge would be like, "Well, this is an unlicensed company. You guys are not even legitimate."
Bailiff, remove the remove the defendant. But especially, can you imagine if like 10 of these actresses or whatever just like joined forces and went after them? Shia LaBeouf be done, done like dinner.
Yeah.
But this kind of makes me think back to the John Robinson Slave Master episode, number 75. And Todd and I had a discussion on just how legal these slave contracts were.
Different. This is a business contract. It's legal.
Well, kind of. As far as they're concerned, it's legal based on what we just talked about.
And like in real estate, nothing is enforceable unless it's in writing.
Right. But these slave contracts that John Robinson had were basically these master slave contracts, where it's basically, I think those things are just part of the humiliation and domination of the sub.
Yeah.
But so basically, like, if somebody signed a 1-year contract with, to be somebody's sex slave for like a year, and a month into it, they decided they didn't want to do it anymore. Could the master then take her to court and saying, hey, she's breaking her contract here? And that would get thrown out of court.
Yeah.
That's the discussion that Todd and I were having on that episode. That would get thrown out of court. But it's still fucked up, though.
Yeah. Yeah. She wanted to be in the industry and she wanted to work.
True. Shia LaBeouf wasn't working her in the industry where lots of people would have loved to work with her. And yes, Aubrey was naive, and maybe I am too, but what benefit does Shia LaBeouf have not to book a woman who would be gold because she had a baby face and a firm body?
She's banking on a buyout contract, and that's how she's making her money.
But she had to have previous success in order to entice these women into signing a contract.
But you said she wasn't licensed.
Yeah, I did. I don't know. She wasn't licensed, and Aubrey could have filed a complaint with the Department of Labor. It would invalidate the contract with lucrative penalties awarded to her from Shia.
If it was legal.
Yeah, we're kind of going around in circles here. Like I said, I wrote these notes about 2 weeks ago. I don't remember what order things are in. Now I'm kind of... But Shia would threaten the women under a contract from getting them blacklisted from the industry.
A predator.
Yep. But you know who isn't a predator? The author of this book, Kelly Roberts. She and lots of other people advocate for people who get hung up with the issues that they can't get out of. But she couldn't help Aubrey, and Aubrey panicked, because Shia had it drilled into her head that her career could end if she continued. And she says not all agents do this, but like in a lot of things, a few bad apples make it rough for the rest who are legit. And a newbie has no clue who's who.
Yeah. I think maybe the ones promising fortune and fame are the ones to steer clear from.
Oh, yeah. I learned that a long time ago. Like, if somebody says, I can make you a star, that's a clear sign to run.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't tell us the story, you're going to have a bunch of emails asking what happened.
Oh, you want to hear a story?
Yeah.
All right, fine. I was a karaoke host in my early 20s. My vocal range was almost 4 octaves, and I had just nailed Freddie Mercury's part with another guy on Under Pressure by Queen and David Bowie.
Oh. Even the high note at the end?
Yep. Even the high note at the end. And I fucking nailed it. This dude comes up to me afterwards saying that he's an A&R rep. He told me that I had an amazing voice and that he worked for Capitol Records and I should call him. He hands me a business card and it had his name and a local phone number. He was a local auto mechanic. And I asked him why he was handing me a card for a local auto shop rather than a Capitol Records business card. And he told me that he was out of Capitol Records business cards.
Of course he was.
Yeah.
Oh, bullshit.
He then told me, I can make you a star. And I told him to fuck off, and he fucked off. He left after he finished his beer. But for shits and giggles, I called the number on his business card the next day.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a cell phone. It was a landline. And the call was answered, blank and blank auto repair, or whatever. I don't remember what it was. But I asked for the Capitol Records A&R rep who worked there, and I gave him his name. I'm sure that went over really well for him.
Oh, man.
And I never heard from him because this chucklehead didn't even bother to take down my name and number.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Is what good did that do him? You know, what type of motivation? It's like, what was the motivation for that? It's like he just wanted to make an ass out of himself.
I think, I don't know. Maybe he just, I don't know. Maybe some people like to, the illusion of success. Maybe that was it.
15 minutes of some sort of pseudo fame.
15 seconds is more like it.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about his love life, though. Oh. But these chuckleheads don't care about anything but themselves, and these stories like Aubrey's are all too common. And once again, I go back to Poison's song "Fallen Angel." Want me to sing it?
No.
All right, fine. I won't. The author of the book, Kelly Roberts, then goes on to say that she appreciates OnlyFans because it empowers the people that are using it. OnlyFans has made it much safer because they can do whatever they want. They can take jobs without being pressured. Like I mentioned before, this abusive dickhead has an OnlyFans page, and while I find people like him to be disgusting, if the woman knows what she's getting into beforehand, there's nothing illegal about it, whereas before, she might not have known. He's still a sick fuck, though.
Mm-hmm.
If OnlyFans had existed when Aubrey got into the business, she and many others wouldn't have been exploited. The porn agents no longer have control because now the OnlyFans performers can do whatever they want to on their own terms and make really good money while doing it.
That's a union.
Yeah, kinda. It really is kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the idea. It's not an official union, but it's the idea of a union collectively. Like,
yeah. It's an in-house collective union.
It's a bunch of free agents, and OnlyFans is basically the union.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So OnlyFans is a union. Just a matter of time before somebody finds a way to fuck that up too.
Right. A politician want to get involved with that crap.
Yeah. Or I don't know. You'll have these producers contacting things. Hey, I can get you. It'll be like these podcast promoters that contact us all the time.
Mm.
You want podcast?
I know, yeah.
You want podcast promotion? I can promote your podcast 100% organic content. Yeah, like you've got 20,000 people just sitting there waiting for your next recommendation.
Yep.
Bullshit. But that probably already is going on with these OnlyFans performers. They've probably got people contacting them. Hi, I really like your work, and that's kind of creepy. Just saying, I never understood people that would go to like autograph signing sessions for a porn star. It just seems creepy.
That is creepy.
It's like, I really like watching you suck that guy's dick.
Yeah. Now, unless they wrote a book or something like that.
They wrote a book. One thing, that's one thing, but just going on tour, going on tour in strip clubs or whatever, just saying, "Oh, come see Betsy Big Boobs at you know,"
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm a really big fan. I spank my junk to your videos all the time. It just seems creepy.
Yeah, that's a whole different world of awkward.
Yeah. I mean, more power to the porn stars that can do that, though. More power to it. There's this punk band that I've actually kind of been part of several times over the years. It's been around kind of since the 90s, off and on, called Scurvy the Clown.
Hmm.
They're crazy comedy punk band,
Yeah.
but they have a song called "I Want to Be Ron Jeremy."
Yeah.
and Ron Jeremy went on, and it's not. It's talking about how he's revolting and disgusting, but he's got all these gorgeous women and everything. Yeah. So it's kind of like poking fun at Ron Jeremy, but still giving him accolades, Well, he went on the Monsters in the Morning one time when he was doing one of these strip club tours, and he was advertising for an appearance that he was making at Bare Assets in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And somebody called in. I remember because I was listening to this, and I was actually roommates with one of Scurvy's band members at the time. But I was listening to the radio broadcast, and somebody called in and said, "Hey, there's a local band here called Scurvy the Clown. They have a song called 'I Want to Be Ron Jeremy.'" And he's like, "Oh," and Ron Jeremy's like, "Oh, that's cool, awesome." And next caller, whatever. Well, Scurvy the Clown, they go to Bare Assets and give him a copy of their CD. and when he walked up, the band went. It was a trio, and all three of them went together.
Yeah.
And when he walked up to him, and everything, hands him the CD and says, "We're big fans." And he looks at the CD and goes, "Oh, you're the guys." and he wound up taking a couple pictures with the band.
Oh man.
Oh shit! But that was before. Like I said, that was in the 90s. That was before Ron Jeremy. Well, did what Ron Jeremy got busted for doing what Ron Jeremy did.
Mm-hmm.
He in prison now.
Yeah.
And if what he did was true, that's where he deserves to be.
Oh yeah.
Put him in the cell with Bill Cosby, even though Bill Cosby has been released.
Yeah, he's been released.
But he's not much of a threat to reoffend either.
Yeah.
He probably won't even make it another 5 years.
Oh yeah, and the guy's losing his eyesight. So.
Yeah. So anyway, hashtag but I digress. Although it was relevant digression.
Yes, all relevant.
Yeah. Many of the people under contract with Shy had similar experiences. There are multiple tweets on Twitter, calling for performers calling Shy out for doing this, and many calling her a female pimp who would throw her performers away for nothing. And Aubrey had basically become a quote assistant to a rich old man, an escort. He was exploiting her. And he wasn't paying her much of anything, but every little bit helped, right?
Oh, yeah.
She literally wasn't making anything at this, any money at this point. And Aubrey wound up driving into a pool of alcohol to cope. But as usual, this coping mechanism just made things worse, and she was trapped. And I mentioned the fees that were extra that they had to put up, and there were a lot more. But this is what every porn star has to do. And why it's vital that why it was vital at that time to be with a legitimate agent who's going to get you paid. Every performer has to have a fresh health test in hand at the start of a shoot, like less than a week old.
Hmm.
They have to provide their own clothing, and that's another expense.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Because none of these producers provide wardrobes.
Sanitation. Got to be sanitary.
Yeah, I thought the point of porn was not to have a wardrobe.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many lingerie depending on what the shoot the shoot is. It's like, good God.
Wardrobes.
You can imagine how big that wardrobe is, all different sizes.
No kidding.
A freaking warehouse.
But, wardrobes are for the lead in the story. The pizza guy shows up. He bought that outfit. The lonely housewife in the robe and lingerie under it, she buys that outfit. They're expected to show up ready, meaning to have their hair and makeup done. Once again, they have to pay to have that done as well.
Mm.
They have to fill out forms, lots of them, making it legal. And even the non-legit performers do this to cover their own asses, although I'm sure it's less detailed.
Yeah.
But the paperwork takes hours.
Paperwork isn't exactly an aphrodisiac.
No, it's not. Like, buying a new car just makes me so horny.
Right?
Give me some more paperwork there, car guy.
Right.
Give it paper to me. I even like it when I get an occasional paper cut. Give it to me, baby. Let me sign on the dotted line. Ooh, baby.
Not for a long shot. No pun intended. Well, yeah, maybe that was a pun.
A long shot. Oh, man. Only if it's long done silver.
Once upon a time.
Never mind. I won't go there. But after that, they still don't get down to business. Next is the photo shoots for promos. They have to do that beforehand, obviously, because their hair is going to be messed up at the end of the shoot. So that can take an hour or more. But next, camera angles and lighting, they all have to be determined, because if a performer gets there at 10 a.m. and it takes 6 hours to go through all of this, the lighting at 10 a.m. wouldn't work at 4 p.m. So the cameramen have to set up at that point when they're ready to start shooting.
Wow, that's if it's outside.
Well, even if it's inside with the curtains open, the sun's going to be coming in a different window hours later.
True. Yeah.
But
that's it's studio done.
Yeah, but a lot of these are
a controlled environment.
But a lot of these they're not shot in studios. They're shot in like houses. They're shot, in industrial centers. There's or wherever.
Van Nuys, California.
And a lot of them are outside.
Yeah.
But then finally the shoot begins, and even that takes hours just for one scene. There's lots of pauses, reshoots, etc. You have to imagine that the porn isn't the dream job that people think it is. And I also have to imagine that, especially for the men, that lots of drugs are involved to be able to last that long, all under pressure. A standard shoot, under pressure. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. That wasn't intentionally put in there. But standard shoot takes 10 to 12 hours a day just for one scene, which on the average, after editing and everything, is one scene is like 15 minutes.
Mm.
But after shooting, their work still isn't over. They then have to do an exit interview saying that their work was consensual and that they were not coerced or pressured to do it. Then they get paid at the end of the day. And like I said before, they get paid for their day of work, and that's it. They get none of the money that's made from the distribution of their work. No royalties, no nothing. You know, performers will promote their work on social media, not to benefit themselves financially, but to grow their fan base.
Yeah, what the hell's the point?
The point is, the bigger their following, the more money they can ask for when negotiating their work. So
OnlyFans really has given the performers control of their own careers.
Yeah, and I mean, so if you've got an actor or an actress with, say, 100,000 followers, she's going to get paid more than that actress that's wanting to book the same scene, and she only has, say, 500 followers. Because that means more money for the company, because all her 100,000 fans are going to buy whatever scene that is.
Yeah.
But you're right, OnlyFans really has given the performers control of their careers. They're their own agents, basically. And I'm sure that the agents and producers from a couple years ago absolutely hate OnlyFans. And remember, Aubrey Gold made $50,000 in 2 years, and that's it.
Minus all the fees.
Yep. And under the rates of just a few years ago, females made from $400 to $800 for a girl-girl scene, $600 to $1,000 for a boy-girl scene, $1,200 to $1,400 for anal. Now take away 10 to 20% paid to the agent, $310 a month for STD tests, the cost of living, the cost of travel, to and from the sets, Uber, wardrobe, hair, makeup. Most of these performers would do 5 scenes in a month, and that's a good month, 5. Aubrey was a young new hottie, and that's about what she was working during her 2 years in porn. At the most, maybe 5 a month.
Yeah.
One thing that the author Kelly Roberts points out is that Aubrey's IMDb page says that she starred in 32 films. Like I said before, she was in over 120, and she found it important to report in her book what Aubrey actually did.
So she had a lookalike?
No. You've captured their stunt doubles.
Right. I didn't do that.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've dropped a Spaceballs reference.
Man.
I don't even think I've done one since you've been on the show, but that used to be like a regular thing, like at least one per episode.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've done
that. Those stunt doubles were funny as shit.
Yeah.
Combing the desert.
We ain't found shit. Oh, God. That Discovery doc that I mentioned in the beginning was also reported that Aubrey's royalties were withheld as punishment for drinking on the set. That's not true. Because, as we've mentioned, they're paid a flat fee at the end of the day, and they don't get royalties.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty glaring, mistake for IMDb. To say that they actually get royalties when, just do a little bit of research. You would know that that's not true.
Yeah.
I mean, she might have gotten sent home from a shoot and lost a day's work because she showed up drunk, but nothing was deducted from her royalties.
Yeah.
But,
wonder how if there was like a waiting period of your pay. Like, were you paid at the end of that day, or
you're paid at the end of the day?
Like, wait a week in order for it to clear.
You're paid at the end of the day, and it's probably not cash either. So that means you're getting taxes taken out on top of it, on top of everything else.
That's bullshit.
Because they're not gonna, if you've got a scene with Betsy Big Boobs in it, with Larry Limp Dick, then, if you've got that scene on your website, then the date that it was uploaded is going to be on that website. And when it comes time to looking into the IRS is going to be like, okay, I don't see any paperwork here with Betsy Big Boobs and Larry Limp Dick. So yeah, those they're cut checks, and those checks are reported. They have to be.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of evidence, they'd be able to find that out easily if they were paying these stars, these actresses cash. They'd be able to find that out easily.
That's an interesting IRS department. I'm sure that's a very small room.
That's where Larry Limp Dick worked. Oh my God! I can feel it. There's a new character coming. Larry Limp Dick. Oh man. He and Betsy Big Boobs. Well, I can't do. We don't have a woman on the show, so I can't do Betsy Big Boobs, but I can do Larry Limp Dick.
Yeah, or Nathan No Nut.
I don't know what his role will be for what types of bits he'll be on, but yeah, Larry Limp Dick, that's going to be a new character. he'll be the sex and romance advisor.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dick Darwin is the two characters with Dick in their name.
Yeah. Who's the poet?
Oh God. Larry Limp Dick. But Aubrey was liked by her co-stars. One woman who was about the same age as Aubrey, she had a different experience, and she was anonymous in the book, but she said that Aubrey drank to excess, destroyed hotel rooms, and was a hot mess. But she said that Aubrey was sweet, but was struggling with a lot of issues, and she was struggling with money. And the money that she did have went to drugs to numb her pain. So she broke down a lot, according to another actress. But she entered the industry with these demons. I mean, I heard on a podcast they had her on in 2015. That's the one I was talking about at the beginning, where it was run by two porn producers and it was creepy. But when she had just, she said on this interview before I turned it off that she had just gotten into the business as a rookie, that she hadn't done a gangbang in porn yet, but she had done one in real life when she was younger with 5 dudes.
What?
So yeah, she had issues. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Aubrey got into escort work just to make ends meet as a porn star, and she would also agree to something which changed once she got to the set to much more, and she just kind of went with the flow. Other women described her as innocent, and they wanted to protect her, and she had people looking out for her. But everything that made her a sweet person made her a predator's dream, because she was trusting and easy to manipulate. Aubrey only lasted 2 years in porn, and when she had enough, she actually went home to Dothan. When she just had enough of the business, she went back home to Dothan broke, and she had to move back in with her aunt. And life was rough for her because she was at odds with her family. She was arrested several times for drug possession and receiving stolen property. She was also depressed because she had failed at her dreams. But while she was searching for stability and she was looking for a protector, but instead she found William Shane Parker. He was 11 years older than Aubrey, but she felt comfortable with him, when in actuality he was just another predator. Parker was a local thug who was muscle for a local drug dealer, JP, who was running a construction company as a cover for his drug ring.
In small town Alabama? This is something you'd expect to see in Detroit.
Or Sparta, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Remember that show? In the Heat of the Night?
Oh, yeah.
A small town with big city problems.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good show, but when you really thought about it, when you really think about it, it was pretty ridiculous too.
Yeah.
Because I'm sorry, the shit that went, like it says, it's a small town with big city problems. I mean, that's just, that show was insane.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It was well done, though. I got to give them that. It was good. It's only ridiculous when you break it down and think about it. You know, I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be people listening to this episode going, "I like that show, but you know what? It is kind of ridiculous." Actually, JP and the construction company were JP and the construction company. That sounds like a freaking Village People cover band.
Yeah, done it. Yeah.
But they were in Graceville, Florida, which is just across the state line and about 12 miles south of Dothan. They actually met on Prison Tender.
Ooh.
I did not see Prison Tender coming in this episode.
Wow.
But they were both in jail, and in 2019 she had seen him somehow and started writing letters to him, and their correspondence led to a relationship once they got out, and the two they were joined at the hip. They were two peas in a pod.
Peas in a pod. I'm just surprised we haven't seen anything from Hell's Angels yet.
No, if a biker gang would be involved, it would be like the Latin Kings.
Mm.
Or is that a biker? Is that a bike gang?
Yeah, I think so.
Or is that a street gang? It could be both. Who knows?
Yeah, it might be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it would be a Latino bike club. The upcoming murder victim, Raul Ambrose Gillen, had also met Parker in jail, and they became friends, and Parker got Gillen a job with the construction firm.
I actually forgot this story ends in a murder.
Yeah. We've been talking for an hour about the porn industry. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is a murder. I'll tell you what. The next episode that gets released after this one doesn't have a murder in it at all.
Just a lot of bad shit.
Yeah. And, well, I think there was murder in the story. We just don't know about it. But anyway, you'll just have to wait. You, Paul, only have to wait a couple hours. Everybody else, they got to wait for a week.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't always have to, add a murder into any of our episodes. I mean, it's called Crimes.
Right.
Killers. Culture.
Right. Exactly. That covers the entire spectrum.
Yep.
I'm trying to think if we actually did anything that didn't even cover a crime. I'm trying to think. Probably one or two, but anyway.
Well, it's not a crime if you didn't get caught.
I was going to say Sid and Nancy, but there was definitely crime and murder in that one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to look when we get done doing this because now I'm curious.
Yeah.
But Rao was on the double dipping. Rao was double dipping because he was also a customer of the drug ring as well as the employee of the construction company, and he owed JP money, and JP was getting impatient. That not a good idea.
No.
Raul's daughter said that she knew that he was in danger, and he had even called his ex-wife the day before he went missing, asking to borrow money so that he could get the hell out of town. JP told Parker that he wanted Raul taken care of. Quote, taken care of. And to top it off, Aubrey had cheated on Parker with Raul.
Not a good idea, Raul. Raul. Is that Raul?
Raul.
Because it looks like Raul.
Raul.
And you take the leg off the P, it's a Paul. You know?
Yeah.
Paul.
Where
Raul.
Where were you
Raul.
when this was going on?
Raul. I don't know. I'm finding out how we got from porn into here.
Okay, let's get back up to speed here. William Shane Parker and JP were not only associates, they were also like brothers. And Parker was muscle for JP, and he loved the position.
If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Unless what you love to do doesn't pay.
Yeah. You're going to be working a lot.
Parker was dating Aubrey, who was addicted to drugs. Raul got a job at the construction company. He was also a drug customer of JP. Raul also banged the girlfriend of Parker, the drug dealer Muscle. JP wants Raul gone, and Parker, who was angry at Raul, jumps at taking the hit. So you follow?
I follow.
Okay. July 4th, 2020. COVID was going on.
COVID lockdown.
Yeah. Well, this is in Florida.
Yeah.
We were open by then.
Yeah.
We were only shut down for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The state of Florida. And I never stopped working.
If you were like some of the counties, there was a couple other counties. I mean, Orange County was screwed.
Well, yeah, but the majority of the state was open for business. And Orlando followed suit. You know, once they had a very successful bike week in Daytona Beach, Orlando said, all right, enough of this shit.
Yeah.
Because see, the thing is, Orlando gets a lot of overflow revenue from hotels and stuff like that from bike week, because all the hotels and everything fill up are 100% packed in Daytona.
Yeah.
So people will just shoot 30 minutes up I-4 and stay in like Sanford.
Yeah, yeah.
Ace Cafe, it's coming back, and they're reopening in Sanford.
Oh, the Ace. Sweet.
Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much when Orlando, you know, they saw how, you know, how much money they were losing by being shut down, and they saw it wasn't a record bike week, but it was a normal bike week in Daytona. So they're like, all right, enough of this shit.
Yep. Finger the Fauci.
Yep. Oh, yeah. I was at that bike week too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, July 4th, 2020, Aubrey, Parker, and Raul were all at JP's house under the guise of shooting off fireworks. As soon as they started lighting the fireworks off, Parker shot Raul in the back of the head, execution style.
Damn.
Yeah. In the Sean Gillis episode, Jody said, when you're talking about a shooting, it's never firecrackers. Well, it was in this case.
Yeah. Shit.
Well, it was fireworks and a gunshot.
Huh. Wow.
So, Aubrey was also scared that Parker would hurt her because he, of course, was angry with her for sleeping with Raul. Also, the day JP ordered the hit was actually just a few hours before it actually happened. So Raul didn't die immediately, but he did after Parker beat him with a shovel and then dragged him into the woods. Aubrey testified that she heard a snoring noise coming from Raul, which meant that she was present when he took his last breath.
Wow. The death rattle.
Yeah, pretty much. Aubrey, Parker, and JP then went to bed. Not together. Well, Aubrey and Parker did. JP slept in his own bed. I'm assuming. The next day, Parker wrapped Raul's body up in a tarp and buried it in a shallow grave. A month later, JP contacted another friend of his, a guy named Joseph, asking him for help moving the body. Joseph said, fuck that, and he contacted the police and he brought them to where Raul was buried.
Wow.
When asked why Aubrey didn't come forward, she said that Parker was her boyfriend and she was pregnant with her child. That and Parker threatened to kill her if she said anything. There's no information in the book on what happened to the baby, so she may not have been pregnant and was just saying that.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure that she's in prison. I'm pretty sure if she gave birth while in prison, that would be part of the story.
True. There'd be a record.
I could be wrong, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it wasn't mentioned in the book. But Parker was sentenced to life without parole. Aubrey was sentenced to 10 years plus 5 for probation, or plus 5 years probation. Although she got the 13 months that she was in jail prior to the conviction taken off. So she had, time served. She has to serve 85% of her sentence, so she could be released in 2029. JP was charged with accessory to second-degree murder with a firearm after the fact and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and tampering with a witness, and he got 20 years. Aubrey had testified against both JP and Parker as well, so we'll have to wait and see what happens to her, and hopefully she straightens herself out in prison, and hopefully she'll be able to have a good and peaceful life once she's released. So, if she doesn't go through all she went through in porn, does she still wind up on drugs and in prison for her part in the murder? What do you think?
I don't know. It all depends on that judge.
She was. I'm saying if she hadn't gone to porn, do you think that she still winds up with Parker and by extension getting involved with a murder?
No. I
don't know, because she had her demons before she turned 18 too.
Well, so, she started watching porn at 12.
Yeah, and she was probably doing drugs before she turned 18 as well. So I gotta wonder, something had to happen to her as a child.
So I mean, her father skips out very young.
No, he didn't abandon. He was just gone a lot.
Gone a lot.
He might have been an over the road trucker or something like that. Yeah. It really didn't say, but still, something had to have happened.
Yeah. Or it could have been the people she knew. That's another thing. Did she choose to watch porn at that age, or did she have a friend that got her into it? Don't know.
Well, her mom was a stripper.
Yeah,
but her mom was on the straight and narrow, it seems, because she was always at odds with her mom, because she's wanting to be wild and her mom is not. So it seems like her mom was wanting to kind of go on the straight and narrow and get straightened out. That's what it seems like. So interesting. I think she probably. Even if
dynamics.
But I think that, and I hate to say this, but even if she hadn't gone through all she went through with porn, I think she still would have wound up with a bad crowd and probably would have wound up in prison.
Yeah.
But still, what's missing from this story, something happened to her in the first 12 years of her life. Something had to have.
Yeah.
Now, if whatever that doesn't happen, then maybe this whole story turns out differently. But we don't know what that is.
True.
She hasn't said. Maybe she'll write an autobiography or something.
Yeah, go back. Go to school, get an MBA.
Yeah,
and she can be the licensed agent.
Nah, OnlyFans has pretty much ruined the old guard when it comes to porn.
Yeah. But the actual producer, you can go on and actually produce, be an agent for production.
I'm sure you've got some producers that have been able to say, hey, with my backing, we can make your sets look really nice. We can have top of the line professional photography done and all that stuff. So, it's all about presentation. So I'm sure they've already weaseled their way in.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not weaseled their way in, but the thing is, the performer, even if they do sign with like a production company, for that, the top level, filming and top level scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even if they do that, even if they sign with a production company for that, the actor or actress still has control over what they're doing. They still have the final say so, because it's their OnlyFans page is their business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the shoe's really on the other foot now, which it's a good thing. And and when you look at it like that, the same thing has kind of happened in the music industry.
Yeah.
It's just not as lucrative for musicians as it is for porn stars with OnlyFans page.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to download music and not get any money from it.
Let's do a quick little thing here. I'm pulling up my revenue page for my music. Let's see. It's been up for since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Where is the... Dang it. Okay. Down by song. I have about total, and these numbers are from 3 months ago, because it only updates every 3 months. So it's not going to show the bump that I got when I released the episode of songs that have been used on the podcast. I have 33,496 listens total.
Mm-hmm.
I've made $33.65.
Ooh. Yeah.
So, but that, like I said, it's probably gone up considerably, because the music episode that I released was pretty well received. But it's not gonna be if they only listened to the episode but then didn't go to Spotify and check out the rest of it. So, but I don't care. I mean, my music's out there, and 33,000 people have listened to it.
Yeah.
So hey, I'm good with that. It's
Yeah.
better. It's better than practicing in a 120-degree warehouse and 3 nights a week, and then loading up, going to gigs just to make $100 to split between 4 people.
Mm-hmm. And then have to pay the sometimes bars give the drinks out. So
yeah, but that's still. I mean, I had this one guy from Tampa contacted me about my music, and he's like, "Man, our singer just left. You want to join our band?" I'm like, I like your music. I'm like, would we be using? Yeah, I kind of saw where this was going. I mean, I don't have time to be in a band right now anyway. This was a couple years ago, but I kind of saw where this was going. So I'm like, "Are you using my music?" "Yeah, we like your songs." Like, okay, well, what's the name of the band going to be? He's like, "Well, our name is so and so." I said, "But you want to use my songs?"
Mm.
My songs are already up on Spotify and everything under my name.
Yeah.
So just like, I want to use your material, but put it under our name. No. Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent.
Nope.
Anyway, that was an interesting episode.
Yeah. For everybody out there, it might be the most awkward episode to listen to, but hey, you can imagine what it's like doing it.
Yeah. I mean, Paul had to take a break during a scene that we cut out and everything. And he came back and he had some sweat in his forehead.
Oh. Rosy palms.
I'm kidding, everybody. I'm kidding. So, anyway, thanks a lot for listening. We appreciate the hell out of it. And Paul, go ahead and say the goodbye stuff because you're better at it than I am.
Please like, comment, share, and don't forget to listen to wherever you listen to your podcasts. Over and out.
Until next week. Later.